Education regular meeting for June 17th, 2024 at 6 p.m. at the Alexandria Educational Center in Alexandria, Kentucky. The first item is to approve the agenda.
I would recommend approval of the agenda as presented.
Is there a motion from the board?
I'll move we approve the agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next, we have our Pledge of Allegiance and mission statement to be led tonight by Frankie Cool and J.T. Cool.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we have our school presentation from the Alexandria Educational Center. Thank you both. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't do the mission statement. I was going to skip right over you. Go ahead, yes.
The mission of the Campbell County School District, in partnership with students, staff, parents, and community, is to do whatever it takes to ensure our students' success in college, career, and life.
Thank you. Now we'll do our school presentation from the Alexandria Educational Center.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to present on the AEC's terrific school year. I would like to take a second to read the AEC's mission statement. The Alexandria Educational Center will strive to have all students make choices which are more socially acceptable within the settings of their home, their school, and their community, and to prepare them academically for the challenges of the world they will face upon leaving the school setting, the public school setting. I have listed there on the next slide the primary reasons why students are referred to the AEC. Oh, sorry, there it is. I've also listed out where students who attend the AEC are referred from. At the bottom, you can see that a fair amount of our students have some type of DCBS or court involvement, and half are enrolled in credit recovery coursework. While the AEC's capacity is 45, we enrolled 105 students this school year. The AEC had 2 graduates to close out the 22-23 school year, 22-23 school year, and 4 graduates this school year. On top of the ones that graduated from the AEC, 13 Campbell County High School graduates this school year were former AEC students. During the 22-23 school year, the AEC transitioned 26 students back in the normative school environment, and this year we transitioned 25 students. We're proud to say of the 51 students that transitioned back into the high school or the middle school, 48 have remained in that school setting. In terms of academic data, being an A6 school, we don't get the typical school report card. One measure that we look at to determine academic growth while students are enrolled with us is the TABE assessment. It's widely used among alternative settings in Kentucky. The average grade level of students enrolling at the AEC is a 9.8, or almost sophomores, while the average reading level upon enrollment is a 6.35, and the average math level upon enrollment is a 6.45. So at the 6th month of a student's enrollment, we administer the TABE assessment again, and we are able to demonstrate more than a 1-year growth in both reading and math. So we've been working hard to improve our behavioral outcomes through our work to improve our PBIS system, engagement strategies, our virtual programming option, as well as the board support. We've had quite a drop in our behavioral issues this year. This is particularly the case with the number of suspensions, having 47% fewer suspensions this school year as compared to the prior year. In terms of, oops, lost a page there. A couple other measurements of note. The early warning tool was utilized to determine what interventions could be used to raise the likelihood that a student will graduate. Looking at grad scores for students enrolling and comparing them at the time of their withdrawal demonstrates the AEC's effectiveness at increasing student trajectory towards graduation, particularly those at-risk students. Counselors do a lot of work around resiliency poll data. As the graph would indicate, spring 2023 to spring 24 witnessed positive growth in all resiliency indicators, quite noticeably in the categories of positive school experiences, and grit. Switching gears, the AEC does partner with CACSAC and DJJ to provide services. As part of that partnership involves monitoring visits. On the CACSAC audit, out of 43 indicators, they found that we were exemplar in 2 indicators and fully met 41 indicators. The auditor also left some nice feedback. On the DJJ report, we met all 407 standards. This year I began soliciting parent feedback through anonymous surveys, and this slide contains the results of those surveys. In terms of whether or not parents felt that the AEC will help their child be successful in the future, about 93% said yes, no one answered no, while 7% wasn't sure. When asked about communication from the AEC, 31% of the parents described the communication as extremely positive, 54% described it as positive, and 15% described it as average. With a few parent comments there. And then to close out with initiatives for the school year, we took students on multiple college visits. We increased project-based learning. There's a picture of some gardening there, which is kind of akin to weeding. One person's gardening is another person's weeding, so they're doing one of the two there. So we began a mentoring program that provided some AEC students with an opportunity to help mentor MSD students at Campbell County Middle School. This year we started a monthly speaker series with folks from various fields to come in and speak about different careers. And to encourage to increase and to encourage an increase in student reading and literacy, we spent a lot of time this year improving our student library. We had 255 library checkouts this year, and that's about 200 more than last year. So, and that's all I have, unless anybody has any questions for me.
I'm not sure, this is a comment, I'm not sure that most people realize that students come into the AEC and then may go back to the high school when they're ready to be back in the typical school setting.
Yeah, yes, ma'am, absolutely.
They're successful in doing that.
Yes, I appreciate that. There's phases that students will work through in order to, when folks feel like we're ready to be successful, transition back into that regular school. When we do put a lot of stock in, and once kids do transition back into regular school, making sure that we're being successful. We work closely with the middle school and high school, obviously, to provide supports to ensure the student be successful upon their transition. Yes, ma'am.
I was also surprised to see 407 standards. That's a
Seems
lot
like
of
a
things
lot.
to keep track of.
Definitely seems like a lot.
Yeah,
For sure.
that is a lot.
Probably the same folks that wrote the clause about dueling.
Right.
We gotta get that in there.
Is that one of the standards, they can't duel?
Should be.
I do want to say, what, you finished? Yeah. One thing, I did have a parent contact me and was so overwhelmed on the AEC's performance, and you and all the teachers, they said their child would never get back to the high school if it wasn't for this. And I really don't think our community realizes that we give so much the opportunity for children, all of our students, to have every opportunity to get that diploma. You know, we know some kids have a hard time, so we help them in a different setting. And I really think that everybody's done a great job, and I just wanted to let you all know that.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you.
I always enjoy attending the graduation ceremony, even though it's small.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very, I think, very inspirational and very meaningful for those
Yep.
students. They've really accomplished something.
Well,
when they do
exactly,
that.
100%,
Yeah.
for sure.
So, thank you.
All right,
Thank
thank you.
Anyone else? Then we are ready to do our stars. And for this, for our newest board member, we go down to the front and take pictures.
All right. We do have several Our Stars tonight. We have a couple of kids and a couple of groups who are working through some spring banquets and some other things today who can't be here, but we will go ahead and recognize everyone that we have on our list and make sure that they get that recognition. Our first group of students that I will announce are students from the high school and the middle school who were part of the Inquirer's 2023-2024 All-Star Team Selection. So if you want to come on out. With us, we have Zach Kelly and Larry Wallace. You can walk on down to the front. I'm going to read a lot, and you're going to stand there and smile and shake hands. In addition to Zach and Larry, Abigail Sargent, Braden Allender, Braden Griffith Ayers, Charlie Alford, Christopher Ferrero, Deacon Heisler, Grayson Hedger, Joshua Hitt, Callie Dinneman, Mason Booth, Savannah Cloyd, Bryce Dinneman, and Bryce Sargent were also selected. Zach and Larry were selected to the Inquirer 2023-2024 Greater Cincinnati High School All-Stars, second team for boys swimming and boys dive, respectively, for their outstanding performances this past season. Grayson Hedger was honored on the first team for girls dive. In bowling, J.D. Hitt and Bryce Sargent were recognized on the first team. Mason Booth and Braden Griffith Ayers earned a spot on the second team and an honorable mention in boys bowling, respectively. For girls bowling, Abigail Sargent was named to the first team, with Savannah Cloyd and Callie Dinneman making the second team. And wrestling, Deacon Heisler was celebrated on the first team for the 144-pound category. Christopher Ferrero, Bryce Dinneman, and Braden Allender were named to the second team for 138-pound, 150-pound, and 215-pound categories, respectively. Charlie Alford received an honorable mention for the 175-pound category. Each athlete was recognized for their exceptional performances throughout the season. So congratulations to you both, and congratulations to all of them for this outstanding accomplishment. All right. Our next group that we have walking out has students from Campbell County High School and Campbell County Middle School. You're going to walk on down, and you're going to shake hands and smile for a picture. Lily Bittner, Josie Feebeck, Mallory Fleckenstein, Jaden Glahn, Addison Griffin, Hope Hamilton, J.C. Kramer, Samantha Perry, Lily Fearman, Mariah Price, Emma Schultz, Brenna Tate, and Faith Whitford, coached by Bob Kitchen, Sandy Kitchen, and Aaron Caudill for the CCHS softball team. Their coaches are here. Where'd they go? Oh, she's up there. Perfect. You were bent over. I wanted to make sure you were getting recognized. The softball team won their 7th consecutive 37th district softball championship by defeating Brossart 10-3 on May 20th at Scott High School. In addition, being named to the 2024 37th district all-tournament team were Hope Hamilton, the MVP, and Mariah Price and Josie Feebeck. Josie and Hope were selected to the 2024 softball 10th region all-tournament team for their stellar play as well. Congratulations to this entire talented group of student athletes, and thank you for representing Campbell County well. You're good. I do have one more group I want to read while the board makes their way back. They were not able to be here tonight because they have a banquet, but the baseball team, I'm going to go ahead and read their names so that you can hear them. Samuel Adams, Charlie Alford, Lucas Anthrop, Gavin Bell, Christopher Bramley, Carson Clark, Nate Delaney, Zach Franzen, Will Higas, Noah Hardy, Jonah Kemplin, Landon McNabb, Gavin Richardson, Tyler Schumacher, Beckett Schweitzer, Parker Schweitzer, Daxton Strauss, Camden Tiemeyer, Justin Troutman, Spencer Voss, and Connor Weinel, coached by James Clark, Reed Shetwood, Christopher Gilbody, Andrew Perrin, Dave Shepard, and Scott Schweitzer. They won their 3rd consecutive district baseball championship by defeating Scott 6-5 on May 20th. In addition, being named to the 37th district all-tournament team were Zach Franzen, the MVP, Chris Bramley, and Tyler Schumacher. Further recognitions included Tyler selected as 2024 10th Region Sophomore East All-Star, Zach Franzen selected as 10th Region Junior East All-Star Alternate, and Daxton Strauss selected as the All-Star First Baseman. Zach Franzen and Camden Tiemeyer were selected to the 10th Region All-Tournament team for their stellar play during this year's tournament. So congratulations to their entire team for a phenomenal season.
Next, we have our communications. The first is our audience comments, and we have no speakers signed up tonight. Next, Dr. Wilson, superintendent comments in year review.
Okay, so I have lots of great news to share with you. Summing up our entire year, last year I was able to do this and share the work that many of the individuals that are seated here and some that can't be here today have done throughout the year. So I want to review that for our community and for everyone here. We're going to start out with each one of our departments, and our first department is Food and Nutrition Services. All of these departments have worked hard to support our 4 vision pillars. And each of the highlights that I point out is not what they have done all year long. It is what they have done in addition this past year, what they've added to our overall vision and mission and our vision pillars this year. So Food Services this year is proud to share that they increased their breakfast participation by 45% compared to the previous year. Federal reimbursement for breakfast and lunch totaled $1,635,662.98. We also utilized $96,000 in commodity allotments to purchase fresh fruits and vegetables for our students. Curriculum instruction and assessment achieved 100% district-wide training of staff on trauma-informed school services. There were substantial increases in elementary proficiency across reading and math from our fall to winter assessments. Our spring science results all significantly are above the national average. Our reading and math performance for K through 6 and all other assessed grades were significantly above national averages. Significant enhancements in professional development which included training in science best practices and instructional strategies. Our athletic department, there was a 4% increase in student athlete participation. We secured a 3-year sponsorship for Huddle's school-wide license that enhances game streaming capabilities so that more people can watch our student athletes perform. That resulted in 10,177 loads. Facebook followers for Camel Pride increased significantly to 5,846 followers. Our finance department implemented credit card readers in all 5 of our elementary schools this year and Campbell County Middle School. This enhances our financial transactions and the collection of fees and payments. They introduced a financial fraud prevention tool called Positive Pay this year, and that's used across the entire district. And they saved over $50,000 throughout competitive bidding and negotiation processes for our district. Technology department is proud to share that they increased the resolution of technology support by closing 1,477 more tickets than the prior year. What those are support tickets. They reduced our server footprint from 43 to 28 servers, moving services to the cloud. We upgraded our bandwidth from 1,000 megabits to 2,000 megabits, significantly enhancing our network capacity. And we initiated a classroom refresh installation of our panel TVs, which the board appropriated last year. It also included student Chromebooks and staff devices in that upgrade. Our special education department served over 1,000, it was exactly 1,002 P through 12 students, which is 1/5 of our enrollment, and 203 preschool students with special education services.
They increased the number of project search interns from 3 in 22-23 school year to 4 this past year, and next year we have 9 students projected to enter that program. And that is because there was work on the change of admissions and the program with that. They also purchased a new van. There's a picture of it. It's beautiful, we're really proud of it. $84,020 was spent to transport students with disabilities. And their MAP data, this is one of the ones we're most proud of, their growth across the content areas and the disability categories. We had 50.8% of our students identified met their projected growth in math, and 57.9% met their projected growth in reading. And that projected growth is compared across the nation. So we're really proud of that work. Our buildings and grounds. They reduced our dust mop and entry mat service costs by 50% over the year, saving us $30,000. And that's just a perfect example of when we go through all of our decisions and we're looking at making sure that we're reassessing every year, how do we do things, how can we do it better? So that was a great example of doing that and saving us $30,000. We outsourced, another example, outsourced our natural gas providers for a total savings of $40,076.65. And we replaced our outdated mechanical equipment with energy efficient models, further reducing our energy costs. And we're also doing a few things like renovating our middle school and building a brand new Grant Slick Elementary School during this time. So awesome work there. Our schools and community education, one-man department engaged, I would say department, but we engaged approximately 45,000 households and businesses this year with biannual printed community updates. We had multiple partnership pursuits that were developed to reach more families through. We had spring expos, kindergarten readiness events, Grant Slick Elementary groundbreaking, etc. We had staff partnership events that were developed with our legislators through student-teacher events, recognition events, and advisory events. We enhanced our digital engagement with a significant increases in social media interactions and followers. You can see those up there. We had a 2,714% increase in individuals reached, 31% content interactions, or excuse me, 31,000 content interactions, 5,300 followers, and 4,000 link clicks. So that's a huge increase in 1 year. The transportation department reduced their bus behavior referrals by 35%, and they decreased our bus breakdowns from 54% through better maintenance and training. They lowered their diesel usage by 1,689 gallons, which reflects more efficient bus routing, and a total cost savings of $5,067. We also updated our bus fleet, which improves the depreciation rate to, we are better than the state average on depreciation rates. And Mr. Ellsburn was up here presenting on the Alexandria Education Center. Some things to brag on there are that we had a number of their discipline reports decreased 29.8% from the 22-23 school year. That reflects significant improvements in student behavior and school discipline there. Virtual option for qualifying students was added this year. And although it's not tracked, and I believe you mentioned, we significantly increased the amount of library books that the students checked out. At Campbell County High School, there was an increased career readiness with more students engaged in dual credit classrooms and in internships. With the rollout of Project Destination, we had 77 students that will intern this year compared to 35 interns the year before. 197 students will take a dual credit class next year compared to 129 students this year. Our high school was ranked in the U.S. News and World Report's best high schools. In 2023, we had 16 students that scored a 30 or higher on their ACT, and this year we had 21 students scoring a 30 or higher on the ACT. Science achievement percentiles are in the 73rd to 85th percentile range. Keep in mind, national average is 50%. So you're seeing numbers of 73 to 85, and math achievement ranges average 67 to 72%, And reading achievement ranges are, that should be 53 to 62% on our MAP assessments. There was an enhancement in their school climate. That's skipping class referrals decreased by 21.6% in 1 year. There was also increased participation in the breakfast program with mobile carts that were implemented at the high school this year. At our middle school reduced behavior events by 44.4%, almost halved year over year. They increased the percentage of their students passing all of their classes by 10% in 1 year. Grades 6 and 8 demonstrated reading, science, and math achievement percentiles well above the national averages, with science national averages at the 70th percentile for 6th grade, 61st percentile for 7th grade, and the 72nd percentile for 8th grade. In 22-23 school year, the 21st Century grant, which serviced approximately 25 kids throughout the school year, and with a high attendance number of 14 students on one day. This year, we had 98 students that were serviced with a high of 48 students, or 48 students was our high attendance day, and those are students staying after school for services. Did I skip it? Nope. Campbell Ridge Elementary School. We're proud of Campbell Ridge for all of their grades were above the average national achievement percentile in all subjects, ranging from the 52nd percentile to the 96th percentile on average across the board. All of their grades were above the 50th percent proficiency in language usage, reading, and math. Their free and reduced lunch demographic students in first, second, and third grade reading were well above the national average and achievement, and there were no significant differences in free and reduced lunch students and all students. Their expected proficiency on the Kentucky Summative Assessment is well above average. Klein Elementary School increased library books checked out by 850, reaching 11,235 books this year checked out. Substantial growth in their fitness club and student technology leadership program membership. They implemented 23 classroom Schoology accounts, enhancing digital learning engagement, and their highest overall state test rating was blue. That's the highest you can get. There were no significant differences amongst their free and reduced lunch students and all students in math in grades 1, 2, and 3, and free and reduced lunch is at or above the national average for all grade levels. Crossroads Elementary, grades 1, 2, and 4 were above the national average in reading. Grades 1 and 2 were above the national average in math. Fourth grade was above the national average in science and had a conditional growth percentile of 95. That's amazing. That's telling us everyone grew at a rate as fast as others across the nation. Gifted students were well above the national average achievement percentile in all subjects as well at Crossroads. Also doubled the number of clubs offered to students, enhancing the extracurricular engagement at Crossroads. At Grant Slick Elementary, we had all grades in all subjects were well above the average national achievement percentile. That's the 62nd to the 96th percentile, except for third grade language usage on Spring Map. I'm sure Emily knows right where she's going to be working, right there. Significant decreases were seen in novice performing students, and increases in distinguished proficiency level were seen in their core subjects. Successful implementation of academic teams and future problem-solving groups, which achieved regional recognition. And at Riley, all grades in all subjects scored well above the national average, the national achievement percentile rating, ranging from 64 to the 95th percentile. So I point that out because if you're thinking 50 is average, we're seeing numbers that start at 64, the 64th percentile. We have increased breakfast and lunch services, serving 935 and 827 more meals respectively than last year. We also hosted a successful community and educational events, including a drama club with participation that more than doubled prior years. Riley also is the highest overall state testing rank of blue. Save the district for last because we are a product of a lot of the things that we talked about, but these are some more accomplishments that I think really need to be mentioned. There was an in-depth analysis this year and revamping of our extra duty salary scales that was conducted to continue the competitiveness in the region and support more opportunities for our students. There were updated renovations of the Campbell County High School auditorium lighting system to enhance student experiences. Student expos were hosted. They were all new this year to support families in their decision-making and to highlight the different offerings that we have in our buildings. Computer science and fire science pathways were supported with state-of-the-art resources to enhance these experiences for this year. There was an addition of the construction technology courses at the middle school, and that was offered in coordination with local business partners. We also have seen competitive wages, a tax-sheltered savings match, extended experience, and doctoral level stipend have been provided for staff recruitment and retention, and I have heard nothing but extreme positive about that and appreciation for the board's decision. We've secured over $939,000 in grant funding this year. That's competitive grant funding. Those are that we wrote. All 5 elementary schools were awarded our family-friendly schools certification from the Pritchard Committee. We increased our stakeholder input we had 2 classified and 1 certified and 1 community superintendent advisory group that met multiple times throughout the year. We had weekly monitoring of staff and student retention and attendance was conducted to minimize student impact. That went on throughout the entire year when you look at teacher shortages and substitute shortages. We developed a virtual academy for qualifying students, grades 6 through 12. Staffing for 24-25 does demonstrate significant improvements to retention rates of the highest quality staff. And ongoing communication with legislators and representatives has occurred to build relationships and ensure that there's informed decision-making regarding our students, staff, and our community needs. Project Destination was started this year as a district-wide alignment of career pathways, grades K through 12, and that was implemented. So I think it's safe to say that we are ready for another outstanding year. Questions or comments?
That was a lot.
It was a lot.
One of the things that I've been concerned about was the gaps that we saw in a couple of groups with our special ed groups, with our free and reduced lunch groups and some of those, and I'm glad to see that those are going away through some of these initiatives. So that's great news, so that we're bringing some of that equity to our district that we really need.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing a great job and all your staff. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next item on our agenda is our board member comments. Board members?
I'll go. I was excited to see the technology refresh starting. You mentioned that. Hopefully that's long overdue. Glad we're doing that, and hopefully we get some good feedback and people like that. Did want to mention too that summer meal distribution began. That's at Klein and Grant Slicks on Thursdays, except for the week of July 4th from 4:30, 4 to 6:30 till August 8th. So please, you don't have to have a children in school. I see Julie Kuhnheim shoveling food over there. Feed them.
Yes.
That's right. But take advantage of that. If don't have to have a person in the school, it's free to everybody. And I did want to mention, I believe Ms. Fender was there. The Band of Pride performed the national anthem at the Reds game on May 26th. That was a good time. Beat the Dodgers, which is always fun.
Had a significant rain delay.
Had a significant rain delay, yes, but it was a good time.
Thanks for sending your video.
Yes, I did post a video.
You mentioned the food. We do have the USDA site visit on June 20th, so they're going to be coming to.
Oh, good.
They're extremely proud of what we're doing in our community and want to share that with the entire nation. So that's that's a big deal. Really excited.
And I do believe, if, correct me, isn't there something tomorrow at the Crossroads? The produce, which, yeah, I kind of read it. I didn't get the times, though. But bring your own bags, and apparently you can just kind of help yourself down the line there at Crossroads. What is it? 3 to 5? 3 to 5? Okay. So, anybody would be interested, and that's to anybody in the community also. So that's good. But I also, were you done, Josh? Okay.
I'm done.
I'd like to congratulate and welcome Mrs. Cool. You'll be learning a lot. I also, congratulations to Mr. Tim Mosley for the middle school principal, and Mr. Gay, is he here? No? He's not here. Okay. For the high school, the new assistant, and but that's it. And have a nice summer, everybody.
So I wanted to add to that welcome. Good to have you with us and have a full board again. A couple things I did want to mention. In Dr. Wilson's presentation, she mentioned that we had 5 family-friendly schools recognized by the Pritchard Committee. What she didn't mention is that was 5 of the 29 schools recognized across the state with that distinct honor. So for us to have 5 of them out of only 29 statewide is really quite an accomplishment. So we should be proud of that. Also, the Kids Count data from the Annie E. Casey Foundation came out recently. And so there is work to be done in Kentucky. Kentucky ranked 38th out of the 50 states in that. And they look at, I took a screenshot of this. That's what I'm looking at on my phone. So I'm not checking text messages or anything. But it says economic well-being, education, health, and community. So they rate your state on those 4 data points. And so unfortunately, Kentucky is 38th. The final thing I do want to mention is this Thursday evening at 6 o'clock at Newport High School is the Protect Our Schools event. And if you're interested in that, this is concerning the constitutional amendment that will be out on the ballot in November about changing how public funds can be used in education. And so if you're interested in learning more, 6 o'clock at Newport High School. They had so many people sign up, they had to move it. Originally, it was going to be here at the co-op building in Cold Spring, but I got a notice today it's being moved to Newport High School. So 6 o'clock, be there, find out what's going on. Others?
First, congratulations and welcome. Yeah. I have to start with this. This is hard to say, but I think I have to. After graduation, I was shocked to hear of the high school principal's actions regarding the comments of the student who gave the closing remarks. I did not think his remarks went too far. In fact, I applauded him along with many in attendance that night. My guess is that our principal was so afraid of someone getting up and spouting some woke nonsense so common in our world today, she was willing to trample on his right to say thank you to his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I want to thank my Savior for giving me the opportunity to stand up for the young man. I believe this kind of thing happens when your motto is whatever it takes. I prefer the classroom rule of my good friend Dan Wagner. That was do what's right. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Any other comments from the board? Then our next item on our agenda is our personnel action, and the board receives those as submitted. Our written communications and reports include our site-based minutes, our Family Resource and Youth Service Center reports, the Homeless Services reports, the Pupil Personnel report, Public Relations report, report of donations, school-related field trip notifications for athletics and transportation, the district non-SBDM staffing, our sale of surplus items, the full school report from the AEC. We only see a brief portion of that. and the and then that's all of those. Our next item is the KSBA policy update first reading. We get these annually following the legislative session. Whatever law changes impact school policies are provided to us to review in a first reading, and then at our July meeting, we'll be asked to approve those policy changes, with the exception of the few that were emergency provisions, which have already gone into effect. Then next we have our Career and Technical Education Funds, also known as LAVEC MOA for 2024-25, and the Read to Achieve Reading Diagnostic and Intervention Grant. Any questions or comments about any of those items? Our action agenda starts with our insurance renewals package, workers' compensation, and cyber security insurance.
The board has before them the Steve Crawford of Crawford Insurance, who is our insurance agency for the district. They have facilitated and updated quotes and bids on behalf of Campbell County Schools for workman's comp and for for the cyber insurance. Crawford Insurance has also presented a new package option for business property, liability, fleet, and umbrella insurance. Crawford Insurance has submitted a total insurance cost of $759,729 for Campbell County Schools, which represents a net increase of $97,654. While this net increase is substantial, the option of renewing the district's policy with Liberty Mutual's business property, liability, fleet, and umbrella would have resulted in an increase of not only that $97,654, it was going to cost even more at $80,967 more. So after reviewing that, the breakdown would be workman's comp, KEMI, would cost $141,936. Cyber insurance, which is with Westchester, $18,811. The business property, liability, fleet, and umbrella with Bluegrass Risk Management comes in at $598,982. So that is a total of $759,729 for our insurance renewals.
Any questions or comments? This is a necessary purchase.
Well, can't go without it. Unfortunately, we've had to make some claims this year. So.
And I'm especially glad that we were still able to get cyber insurance. I've heard of a lot of places that have, if they were able to get it, it was incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
So this is not bad.
Yeah, these increases we're seeing across the state. They take a lot of things into consideration, but increases of around 33% were what we were all given originally, or the original package. So this is less expensive than that with the same, I believe, the same level of quality and coverage.
Any other questions or comments? Your recommendation?
That we accept the recommendation from Crawford Insurance to accept the updated information from KEMI, Westchester, and Bluegrass Risk Management as presented.
Is there a motion from the board?
I move we approve the insurance renewals package, workers' compensation, and the cyber.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Ms. Cool?
Yes.
Ms. Schultz?
Yes.
And Ms. Fender is yes. The next item on our agenda is the amended and restated Sports Medicine Rehabilitation Service Agreement with NovaCare.
So I wish I had some more good news, but due to recent changes in the industry, NovaCare did come to us. They've lost thousands of dollars annually in their service agreements with school districts in which they provide athletic trainers. Therefore, NovaCare Rehabilitation has requested an amendment and restatement of the current service agreement established on May 17th, 2021 in lieu of terminating the contract. Their amendments include previously NovaCare requested no compensation. This new agreement requests $30,000 per athletic trainer. Previously, we were not billed for additional service hours. This new agreement requests $50 per hour for middle school services paid to NovaCare. Previously, there were 2 athletic trainers were provided to the district. The new agreement provides only 1 athletic trainer. And previously, the agreement was subject to automatic renewal at the end of the term. We've requested that there is no automatic renewal for a new agreement, and we will be revisiting that. Target date might be December, January. But the district administration, school principals, and athletic directors have been involved in this process, and the service agreement has been reviewed by the board attorney.
It appears from what we see here that our choice is to do this or not have trainers, and we don't think that that's a good solution at all.
They're running, running around $30,000 per athletic trainer. With NovaCare, we do get $40,000 received from UC Health, so that offsets that $30,000, and then $10,000 can be used to help pay that hourly fee. But in looking around, that's right now the best in the business that we could come up with. And again, NovaCare is seeing this, but our other organizations that provide these services are experiencing rising costs, and they're saying they're losing money on these agreements. And we still want to provide athletic training for our students. So without any questions, I would recommend approval of the amended and restated sports medicine rehabilitation service agreement with NovaCare as presented.
Is there a motion from the board?
I'll move we approve the amended and restated sports medicine rehabilitation service agreement with NovaCare.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Schultz?
Yes.
Ms. Cool?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Ms. Fender is yes. Our next item on the agenda is BG number 22-447, New Grand Slick Elementary Change Order number 1. And here we go.
Let it begin.
Well, full of more expenses, but again, this is something that is necessary as we move our project forward. We do have, with all of our projects, we're required to keep a contingency. We do have a contingency of $1,704,000, or $704,400. This item, 1 million, yes, $1,704,400. The contingency is $18,533 that we're asking for. This change order, excuse me, it does say contingency there. The change order is for the removal of, when they went in to start doing the building, or start preparing for the building, there was removal and proper disposal that needed to take place of buried rubble and building material, which had been buried on the property before. The debris was discovered during the excavation, and all the material was removed and disposed of according to code.
Fortunately, it was not anything hazardous or human remains or anything, an endangered species, or any of the things that would have really stopped construction and been much more costly than just somebody's trash that they threw onto the site.
Expensive.
That was very common back when I was young. Farmers would have a holler, and they'd just throw stuff in there, and it got buried, and that's the way it was done. So you do find that sometimes.
Yeah, I had several people say, I hope you don't find like Indian remains out there, and I'm thinking, oh, please.
Never know what surprises are going to come forward.
No,
So I
you
do
don't.
think this change order of $18,533 for now is good.
So your recommendation
I
would be that
recommend that we approve
this.
the change order number 1 for BG 22-447. That's the new Grand Slick Elementary School as presented.
Is there a motion from the board?
I'll move we approve the BG 22-447 for New Grand Slick Elementary.
Change order number 1.
Change order number 1.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Perkins,
Yes.
Ms. Cool,
Yes.
Ms. Schultz,
Yes.
and Ms. Fender is yes. I have to get back to my screen, hang on. Next, we have our consent agenda, which includes our minutes, addendum bills, regular bills, treasurer's report, leave of absence request, the annual food service contract renewals, fidelity bond for the Campbell County Schools District Treasurer and school activity account clerks, the board-appointed chairperson and alternate to Evaluation Appeals Committee, student discipline code for 2024-25, the DJJ and Holly Hill calendar for 2024-25, school-wide fundraisers for 2024-25, surplus of equipment, and intent to participate in community eligibility provision. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I'll move we approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Ms. Cool?
Yes.
Ms. Schultz?
Yes.
And Ms. Fender is yes. Next, we have an executive session per Kentucky Revised Statutes 156.557, subsection 6C, Superintendent Summative Evaluation. I need a motion to move into executive session.
I move we go into executive session.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The board is now in executive session. The only action that would take place after this would be to formally approve the superintendent's evaluation. right, is there a motion from the board to come out of executive session?
I'll move we come out of executive session.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So at this time, I'm going to make a recommendation regarding the superintendent's evaluation, that the board approve the superintendent's evaluation as reviewed, which rated her as exemplary in all 7 standards. And additionally, that the board approve the $3,000 stipend for those who have completed a doctorate that was approved at the last board meeting but excluded the superintendent. And that in addition to the terms of her contract, the superintendent receive a 10% salary increase. Is there a motion from the board?
I'll move we approve the superintendent's evaluation and stipend, 3,000 stipend, and the 10% salary raise.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Ms. Cool?
Yes.
Ms. Schultz?
Yes.
And Ms. Fender is yes. The next item on our agenda is an adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move we adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.